Hello, and welcome to another Russell Prog review. And today, if you haven't read the title or the description, I'm talking about this one. I can make sure it's the right way round. It's My Life in the Bush of Ghosts by David Byrne and Mr. Brian Eno. This is the reissue, the 2006 reissue. This vinyl was brought out by Rhino. Not in 2000, maybe I don't know, a few years back. I can't remember. My Life in the Bush of Ghosts is the first collaboration. There's been two of them by Eno and Byrne, fresh from Talking Heads. You remember them? Remember them? Once in a Lifetime. Water underground. Same as it ever was. Remember that one? Yeah. Well, that was Brian Eno. He did a lot of the production for them, if you remember. And so it seems kind of obvious that he should do work with David Byrne. And this is what happened in 1981. In February 1981, this album was thrust upon an unsuspecting public, and it had quite a long gestation period, because of the technical limitations of the time. But what this is early forays into looping. There's lots of loops, and I'm not talking about ambient looping. I'm talking about looping percussion tracks, and just using odd, unusual percussion and loops for the basis, the heart of these songs. And what you've also got is another element to it, because it's not just about that, but there's also all this found music off of albums, and from all different kind of recordings, vocal, but not vocal performances. Often people preaching or singing or whatnot, and they provide the vocal aspect of these songs, and then culturally come from all over the shop, from someone preaching to I'm trying to think of what they used. There's a recording of an exorcism. They did my favourite track they took from the Human Voice in the World of Islam record. So again, this stuff was taken from other records and other recorded sources, and it's a fascinating album. Funny thing is, it's easy to take this album for granted, because nowadays sampling and looping and everything that went on this album, we can do with the touch of a button. You can do it on your bloody iPad, But then these guys were doing it with tape loops, and actually having to sync everything up manually themselves without MIDI or sequencing boxes or whatnot. It was all very much hands-on, so there was no digital sequencing involved. It was all analog, as you could say. So from a technical point of view, it's always fascinated me. Again, it's one of those albums where I played it. It's kind of become I find it hard to talk about, because it's just there, and I've listened to it a lot, and it's gone in, and it's a great record. You give it the rating it deserves. It's a strange one, because I know it well, and the bits I like, and there's bits that I'm not too keen on. But again, there's this whole that's how it was made, and so you've got. Am I going on? I feel like I'm going on. So it starts with a track called America's Waiting, and you can hear, again, it's been the main vocal point has been taken off of the radio, and you instantly know, oh, this is different. And it's a very staccato start-stop rhythm track, and it is just, I don't know, strangely compelling. I think is probably the best way to describe the music. It is strange, and I remember when I first heard America's Waiting, I didn't actually hear it from this album. I think I may have heard it. Oh God, where would it have been? A box set? Because I know EG had a box set out, didn't they, in 1989? It wouldn't have been on there, would it? One moment. Whoops! I nearly fell off my chair. Boing! There goes the guitar. Boing! Try not to destroy the house, Darren. I'll leave this in. It makes it more authentic. This is from 1989. I'm probably barking up the wrong tree. Let me just see. Was there a track on here? Yeah, America is Waiting, and I first heard it on this album. This is the 20th anniversary album from E.G. Artists, 1969 to 1989. Blimey, where did the time go? And so this is where I first heard that track. I also heard 801's Miss Shapiro and Penguin Cafe Orchestra. This has been responsible for a lot of my musical journey. Yeah. Oh no, it's King Crimson. Mustn't talk about them. But yeah, so yeah, that's where I first heard the track, and so I went off, as you do, and investigated the E.G. Album discography. Oh boy, these early morning reviews, I tell you, my brain is not with it. I'm ever so sorry. I will apologise for the quality of this review. So yeah, so that's where I came. I came from it from that track, and immediately I was like, oh, wow, that's weird, that's different, that's interesting, you know. And so I found the album, and that's how I heard America is Waiting. And yeah, Mea Culpa is, again, it's another. Again, these tracks are all really good. Regiment is my favourite track. Again, features the voice of a Lebanese mountain singer called Dunya Yunis, taken from the Human World of the World of Islam. Wikipedia is your friend. And when you hear that, you can see why I like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, and especially the stuff that did with Michael Brook, because that is almost kind of an extension of this, but a little bit more, I don't know, a bit more modern, I guess, because the technology would have been updated. Anyway, we're getting on. Then you got Help Me Somebody. Again, there's a priest, a reverend doing. I'm taking it off of Wikipedia, I'm afraid. Doing his thing, and the Jezebel Spirit is a very unusual one because it's an exorcism, and I always find that just a little bit. It gets to me. I find it a little bit disturbing. If you had the album, you'd flip it over, but you won't find Quran because back in the day they did a track called Quran, which was it's been pulled because I think it was the Muslim Council of Great Britain got in touch with them and said, "Yeah, don't like that. That's kind of blasphemy. You're not allowed to do that." And so they upheld their respects, and so that song has not been on the album for a while. I mean, I think it was on the first pressing of the CD reissue, mistakenly. That's back in the day when they reissued CDs without the artist's knowledge, and but then it was subsequently pulled. So if you've got a copy of it, well done you. I think it's easy to find, but and it was replaced with Very Very Hungry, I believe, which is good. Again, I do find some of the stuff on the B-side a little bit, because it starts getting a bit samey. Interesting, but samey. I like The Carrier, that's alright. Come With Us is okay again. But that's my criticism of the album, is because they're using these loops and that, it's all a bit... Though on the reissue, there's some extra tracks which are okay. And what you also get on the LP version, which you don't get on the CD version, is the actual loop tracks without the. There's a couple of the songs without the vocals put on the top, so you get these bare loop tracks. And one of them, I forgot which one it was now. Let me just consult my thing. It was either Help Me Somebody, because you got what they do is they put the drum track from Help Me Somebody, the vocal track separated, and then the actual ambient track. And the ambient tracks Help Me Somebody and A Secret Life. I can't remember which one it was now. Typical. I should have made notes, but I thought it was absolutely brilliant because you can hear all the guitars and stuff. And what I'd say is I'd like to hear, and this is probably a bit controversial, is I'd like to hear an instrumental version of this album with those samples taken off, because I do feel in some instances they kind of detract from this rich, bubbling, undercurrent that's going on. The one thing I really do like about it is the bass playing. But is it Buster Cherry Jones plays on it? Let me just pull up. Who is on the bass? Yeah, Buster Cherry Jones. Oh, Michael Jones. He's just on Regiment though. But I just love the bass line on Regiment. It's just absolutely a fantastic bass line. I just wanted to single that out because I always loved that. That is my favourite track off the album. But yeah, if you've not heard this record, you must rush immediately and buy a copy. Though today, you're probably going to find this. He said this is the reissue. Oh no, I've got it on CD and on LP, like that. And again, it's got a whole side 3 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 extra tracks, and you can pick this up for nothing these days because nobody buys CDs anymore. And I thoroughly recommend it. But yeah, please do go on. In terms of rating, it would be easy for me to give this a solid 5. It'd be just so easy to give it a solid 5. But I'm not going to. I'm going to take one off because I do always lose focus on the B-side. I just tend to lose focus just slightly because I think some of the samples, it just I don't know, grinds me down. But that's just me being me. But that's what you want. That's what you come here for. You come here for an honest appraisal. And so yeah, I think this is a stone cold work of genius, a studio genius. Go even for I think about a 40-minute album. It does go on a bit. And I do lose focus in it. But that says more about me than it does about the album, or maybe it is the album. I don't know. You decide. So I'm going to give this 4 regiments out of 5. That's 4 regiments out of 5. But you must check it out. You must go and get your copy immediately and educate yourself with this record, because it is really, really good. It is good. It is a good album. Yeah, it is a good album, and it's completely separate from Talking Heads and from what Brian Eno was doing. Again, it was creating a whole new style of music, and yeah, like I say, it's just really funny because if nowadays, kids probably don't go, so what? They don't appreciate exactly the effort and the work that went into it, because there wasn't the technology behind it to bring it to fruition in such an easy way. And so one must look at it in terms of the technology of the time. But I feel like I'm whittering on. So anyway, I've been talking about My Life in the Bush of Ghosts by Brian Eno and David Byrne. This is lovely. You should get this. I think you can get them. It's on the Rhino imprint. I don't think it's out of print or anything. But yeah, I see I've gone on. I apologise for the meandering low quality of this brain fart that I'm having. Kids are still off school, and I find it very hard to do videos these days. But you don't care. You just come here for the reviews. I'm gonna do the spiel. Don't forget, you can follow me on the social medias, the Facebook and the Twitters. We don't even talk about the Google Plus anymore because nobody knows what the fuck that was all about. It was an experiment that went wrong. You can check out my music. Yeah, I do upset people with my music at music.darrenlock.com. Yeah, and go there now. Do it immediately. What else was there? Patreon. If you want to keep the good train, Darren Lock, steaming into distance, you can give me your hard-earned cash. True, and I will spend it on my debt and on my record collection. What? I'm honest. And that is www.patreon.com/lock. if you feel like it, you don't have to. Or you can keep clicking the adverts, but I'm not supposed to say that because it's kind of against the rules of the YouTubes, isn't it? I can't see why, because they get benefit from it, and I get a penny. All right, I'm joking. I'm just doing it for the lols, you know, like all this is. Anyway, thanks once again. It's gone on a bit, but this album deserves me to go on. Oh yes. And with that, there's only one more thing to say, and that is prog on.